Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's daily brief. It's Thursday. Brian's in the middle of moving, so a little bit stressful on the old man. We also have the TRI meetup here in Vancouver starting on Monday, so it's pretty busy. Brian's running around like a chicken without a head right now. From what I heard, people did great shows in my absence yesterday. Thank you, Thomas, for driving, or actually not driving the bus, but hanging out with the bus driver, Alex, and also Joshua, if I'm not mistaken. I think I heard that you also participated in the call yesterday, so that's great to hear. Today being Thursday, we have Julian often participates here on Thursdays and has come into a relatively regular routine. So we'll let him do his presentation. I think probably on balance, once he's done his presentation, we'll sort of head off into the sunset. So it might be a little bit shorter of an offering here for you today. But first and foremost, not a bad idea to do just some hellos. Alex, of course, has done such a fantastic job keeping these daily briefs on the straight and narrow and continuing on nice and consistent. How you doing this morning, Alex?
Hey, sir, I'm pretty good. Hope that your moving situation is coming to a resolution soon. So fingers crossed for you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. And if I'm not mistaken, actually, Steven even said that he wanted to come in and do some contributions in sort of my absence and stuff. So I think I don't know whether that's this week or next week, but
yeah, it's gonna be this Friday. So we don't
awesome.
have Thomas, but we will have Steven come on
Fantastic.
tomorrow.
Great. And actually, one of our OGs from years and years ago actually reached out. His web service that he participated in, he's actually leaving them, and he asked if he could come back and hang out at TRI again. So we got him up and running again, which is totally awesome. So hopefully we'll get Jonathan contributing as well. Very smart individual. So. But today is Thursday. This is Julian's day to shine. So, Julian, as soon as you're ready with your presentation, please take it away. I will throw myself on mute, and let's all see what perspective Julian is seeing in the world.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Glad to be back with another exciting baby powder report. Hopefully this time error-free. Not showing my face this time. I just want to avoid all issues on the computer. For anyone that's curious, it turns out the main issue seems to be that when I connect to an external monitor, the entire computer slows down if I run Google Hangouts. I'm not sure why. I tried upgrading all the drivers, everything. I have no idea why it's happening. It seems to be a Surface Book 2 exclusive problem that I've read about on the internet. So until I find a solution, I'm just going to run it off the single monitor. Next week I'll try doing, showing my face in the corner and doing the fun background thing and stuff, just so we can switch between, oh, the world's falling apart, or oh, it's sunshine and butterflies. So just thought I'd give a quick update on that. Little site update. We're mainly working on marketing still. I'm working closely with our marketing guy on a couple different things we're looking at doing. I set up a trading portfolio on the site. I haven't taken any trades yet. I looked at taking one on the S&P, but I'm holding off on it because I'm not 100% sure. But I'm going to try to start posting trades on that for everybody to follow. So, look out for that in the future. That's something I'm working on. I've started working on the options course again. I know a lot of people are excited for that. So I've finally starting to set that up and with the goal of hopefully having it ready sometime in the fall, probably not September, maybe October timeframe. And then also, of course, preparing for the meetup. I'll be leaving Thailand Sunday at 4 a.m. Thailand time, and I think I'm gonna get into Vancouver at like 10 a.m. on Sunday Vancouver time. It's like an 18-hour flight. I've got to fly to Hong Kong and then all the way to Vancouver. So pretty long flight, but I'm excited to get into Vancouver. So looking forward to that. But those are just a couple little updates. So, without further ado, I'm going to jump into looking at the S&P. I always like to go to the higher time frame, like a weekly chart, just to see what we're kind of looking at. Let me get rid of this. Now scroll like this. So we can see, this is the 1330. The green line's the 13, and then the yellow is the 30. We did have a cross back. So TRI's 1330 investor model is bullish again from 280. And we're up a decent amount, up to 300. So it's doing well, but we can see here. Let me delete all these lines really quick for you guys. Make it nice and clean. This is from lower time frames. We can see here we've got divergence on the MACD, like major divergence. No confirmation, of course, but it's there. But on the RSI, we don't have any major indications. I mean, it's there. It's there, but again, no confirmation. I'd have to see a move down here and then a break through this trend line to get really, really crazy bearish. Right now, I think the trend is still up. It's still a bullish trend. You can see how on the weekly, when we broke out here, that was like the start of the new bull trend. And then we had our pullback and then our move higher. We could still get a big move higher from here. And that would start off a new big, huge bull trend. But I'm erring on the side we're going to pull back and maybe either bounce or move lower. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. Let's check out the daily. Daily just looks like a scaled down view of the weekly with a bit more noise. You can see how you've got a little bit of a descent going on the RSI, and then not much to go on down here below. Is I would consider this kind of a ranging market a bit. That 300 level is a huge psychological resistance level. I don't see us moving through it easily. We can look at, this is a good time to pull up the Apricot report on the options. So let's look at, so tomorrow, for example, I was surprised at this one. So you've got a lot of volume at 300, a lot of people buying calls, but the open interest is small. This is small. To me, this implies we could get a move up. Usually it should be equal on the put and the call side, but it's quite low here. I mean, to get max pain, the close should be around 300, but it wouldn't surprise me if some kind of news comes out, something happens, and the market takes off, and we shoot up to 303 or 304. I think that has potential. We'll see. No guarantees. But I think it's interesting how this chart looks. Let's go and see what next week. Next week is the 31st? No, it's the 2nd. We got to go to the 2nd. August 2nd. Load. There we go. Okay, so you can see huge wall at 305 of calls, and then nothing on the puts down to 275. So big range here. This is interesting to see. I think this will fill out next week. Can't really tell much for this. Maybe if we go to like the monthly, the 16th. I think that's the monthly next month. It looks like it is. Yeah, 16th should be, that's why we have so many here. So you can see we have a lot of puts, 295, 290, 280, and then a lot less calls here. It should be more even than this. To me, this implies we're looking at a bullish market, which would fit with the trend we're seeing on the weekly chart. But this is something interesting to look at, that I like to look at to gauge, okay, where is the market going in the future based on options? So, you could see a move up through this and then a move higher. It's possible. Based on what I'm seeing on the options and what I'm seeing on the daily, I don't have any trades here. I don't like taking a long here, and then at the same time, short. I don't feel comfortable going against the longer term trend. Even like the 4 hour, I could draw something like this and like that, and it would imply that we're gonna head lower. But in light of what I'm seeing in the options and what I see on the weekly chart, I wouldn't feel comfortable taking a short here. So I would say we're in like a ranging market, with a potential, you can see a move down to 292, which is support here, or we move up to 305 area, somewhere in there. But again, no trades for me. So let's jump and look at, I like to look at Beyond Meat. And this thing took off. I mean, this is crazy. I keep waiting for this gap fill to happen down here, and it just doesn't happen. I think this is a short squeeze. I think there's a lot of people that were thinking, okay, this has got to go down at some point, and it's just not going down. And you know, the market makers are probably really happy with that. Let's look at, we always look at the BYND options. Let's do that quickly. Let's look at August 16th. Yeah, so you have a bunch of calls here at 200, 180, and then puts here at 100. I'm really surprised, considering all these calls, that BYND moved up. I don't know if did some kind of news come out or something? Let's see, can I see the news? Notifications. I can switch this. Here we go. Headlines. Dunkin' Brands enters the plant-based meat space. Okay, so this is why Dunkin' entered Beyond Sausage breakfast sandwich. So the breakfast sandwich, meatless bacon. So they're unveiling all these products and partnerships. So I think it's the Dunkin' Donuts partnership, maybe. So Beyond Sausage, and then what else did they? I think I saw something about Chipotle. So it looks like they're making partnerships with all these companies, which would explain the rise up. I still keep my eye on it. I still feel like it could eventually be a good short opportunity, but not right now. We definitely need some kind of structure before we come down to fill this 100 gap. This would be like catching a falling knife in reverse. So not something I'd feel comfortable touching yet, but it's fun to look at it. Speaking of other like new tech companies, I saw Tesla dropped a lot today. I don't know why. Is there some kind of headline news? Let's see here. Maybe, yeah, earnings report as profit outlook in question. So, you know, that caused a big drop in the stock. But you can see how on the daily we dropped right to the level of my Keltner channel. We tagged the top of it and then headed lower. And you can see how also we had this huge move up on the RSI like this. And then just boom, fall through. I can't do anything with this. What I like is that you had divergence in the MACD. So this is why I have the MACD and the RSI, because the RSI showed nothing, but the MACD had a divergence. So to me, if I was long this, I would have started getting worried, especially since we were at the top of my Keltner channel too. And earnings were coming out. I don't like to hold things in earnings, so I might have sold it if I was long. But I remember I missed this trade. I missed like everything in the market with that major V bottom rebound. It happened so fast, and I thought there'd be a pullback. Like, I thought it would go up like this and then pull back to somewhere like here, and then I could get in, but it just went straight up. So I never got my chance to get back in. I don't have a trade again. This would be like catching a falling knife. You got to wait for structure, but I think eventually this will fill the gap. But I want to wait and see what happens. I just thought I would bring it to your attention because it dropped 15% today. I personally like Tesla in the long run. I like any company that's working on electric cars. I think electric cars are inevitably going to be the future. I think, you know, gas cars have their place, but I think their days are numbered. You know, we just need battery technology to get better and cheaper, and it keeps getting better and cheaper. I don't know if you guys have heard about some of the new phones that are coming out, coming with 45 to 100 watt chargers. Like a 50 watt charger for your phones from like 2 years ago could only charge at 10 to 15 watts. Now you've got 50 watt charging where you can charge your phone from 0 to 100% in 30 minutes. And then soon they've got a 100 watt charger coming that's going to charge the phone in 10 minutes. So apply that same technology to, you know, you have the Tesla superchargers, which are essentially that same technology. Now they're in phones. I think it can get even faster and cheaper. It's just going to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. It's just like TVs or something else. And eventually they'll replace gas cars. Sorry, it's a bit of a rant because it's like a passion thing of mine. I actually did a report on like different car technologies about 10 years ago. And even then I was like, it's got to be electric cars. It's so much more efficient. So just a little rant for fun. It's a little passion of mine. Anyway, that's Tesla. Are there any other stocks that people want to talk about? Maybe I should check the Is there anything on the YouTube page or in the Hangout that people are asking about? Not probably a good idea. Hashtag value. So in the Hangout, I don't see anything. Anybody in the YouTube Hangout? Does anyone? Alex, do you see anything about the chat? Before I move into, I'm going to move into metals, currency, and then I'll go into crypto. I'm going to check the lounge. Am I talking? Is anyone there? I'm going to need a bigger computer. Okay. All right. So nothing. Pep. Okay. So James is here. James, can you just say if you can hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you over here on the Google Hangout.
Okay. All right. Good. So as long as you can hear me. Okay. Let's go back into the charts then. Gold. I don't know how many people follow the gold market. I've been testing the waters trading gold. It's definitely not as volatile as Bitcoin, but you still get the same like FU moves and stuff that happens. It's not as extreme, but if you're trading with like 50 to 100x leverage, it feels like extreme moves. I've been trying to watch it on the 4-hour. Right now, it's just been in this range, and it's just squeezing. I bet if I put Bollinger Bands on this chart, they would squeeze too. And you can see how even it's in my Keltner channel now and just bouncing up and down, up and down. I bet if I go to the daily, it'll be inside it even while the Keltner channel is still back here. But you can see, you know, our trend for gold is still up, even though we have this RSI. See RSI breakdown. No, we don't have a breakdown on the RSI. We're just heading to support. So we're at support on the RSI on the daily. That's pretty cool to see. And you have MACD divergence. So my money would be on gold heading higher. I would consider this a buying opportunity here. I think we could bounce. That's where I would. Somebody's typing. Can you go on mute? Whoever that is. Alexander. Okay. Okay. 4-hour chart. Yeah, I like, you know, we're right at the bottom down here. I like going long gold here potentially with a tight stop. You could go here 416 and then set your stop at like 413. If you get stopped, okay, just get out. Or maybe 412. 412 might be better because they might do a little stop run. And if you get stopped out, just wait and then see what happens. Maybe it'll come into support at 1401, and then you can go long from there. And the main reason for me thinking that is because we have on the daily chart and on the 4-hour, you have this MACD divergence. And on the daily, especially, the RSI is still bullish. So I like it from that perspective. Let's look at a 1-hour really quick, just to like kind of. No, there's too much noise for me here. I can't really do anything with this. I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna stick to what the daily looks like, and that's telling me, okay, we've got support here on the RSI. We've got support here on the price chart. We've got support on the 4-hour with the Keltner channel. And you've got MACD divergence on the 4-hour and the daily. So I like what I'm seeing here with gold. I expect it to go higher. But like I said, if you wanted to take a trade here, you know, keep your stop short around 412. And don't use too much leverage, maybe like 50x or something like that for anyone that's trading metals out there. You know, I like to look at the Thai baht, so let's look at that quickly. If I draw my RSI trend line here, we've got a breakout higher, which I love. You know, things get cheaper for me in Thailand. Woohoo! I would like to see a move up to this resistance here, which, you know, the red line represents the resistance level, and then we've got my Keltner channel. Everything lines up. So, you know, I expect to move up to 31.3, which is great. I'm not going to spend much time on this because I don't think there's too many people. I mean, we've got a couple members from Thailand that are here, but I haven't seen some of them in a while. But I still like to, you know, touch base on it. So, okay, that's Thai baht. Bitcoin. Okay, crypto time. Unless, well, let me check the Hangout again, see if there's any questions. Google issues, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's see the lounge. Yeah, Alex said it, the Hangout froze for him. Let me pull up the YouTube just to make sure I'm not missing anybody commenting there.
No, I think you're good on YouTube. I was just out for a couple of minutes there, so sorry about that.
Okay, I was just checking to see if anyone's posting anything in the chat. Okay, all good. Okay, so Morat wants to look at Euro US dollars. Okay, while we're on currency, might as well look at Euro US dollar. Euro US dollar. I like to use the ICE market. Okay, so let's go to a weekly. You know, when you're looking at something like this, you usually want to start with the weekly at least. You've got this one, and then we've got this one here. Boom. Big breakdown of this bullish uptrend going back from 2016 is where you would have taken the trade. And then here's your M top right here, and here's the confirmation. So you could have taken a trade like here, you know, or I waited for the confirmation. If you waited, so this is something I want to talk about. So RSI confirmation, like of a W type formation. So here's your first low, here's your second one, and then you got to wait for it to pass this top. So then you would have waited till here on the weekly, and then you would have entered here. And then if you would exit, you know, you could have a target, which is probably better. But if you just waited for the next M and then you exited on the confirmation of the M, you'd basically be getting out only a little bit higher than where you got in. It's not a lot in the grand scheme of things, considering you held for a whole year. So that's why I try to enter my trades a little bit at a riskier level when I see some kind of support come in, and then I set a tight stop, because I feel like that I don't get the same range of profit. It's safer the other way, of course, but I feel like I can let the stock run a little bit longer and get a better profit if I take these earlier setup ideas. But I don't recommend it for beginners. You know, follow M confirmation, W confirmation. It's just my thoughts and what I do. I do admit it's a little bit riskier, but that's why you have to make sure to set tight stops and don't use like 50% of your account. Make sure to use 5% or less. And not 5% or less on the loss. I usually use 5% of my account for the entire trading value. So just a little feedback on that. If I draw something like this too, breakout here, that would be bullish. And then we do something like this one, you know, it's bullish from that perspective. I think you have good support here. We hit a 9. You can see how we hit a 9 here and it stopped, and we had a little rally, almost touched the weekly Kellner channel. Let's go to the daily. The weekly is not giving me too much, and this is a reason I went to the weekly actually, because there's a ton of noise here. I mean, it's very hard to draw any kind of RSI off of this. I've got all this noise and all these moves down and then moves quickly back up. I would say right here, I can do this, like this one. And then look at the MACD. So looking at a shorter term time frame, like over the next week or so, I like what I'm seeing on the MACD. This is a nice divergence here. You don't have confirmation on the RSI, which I don't like to see. And coupled with the fact that if you go to the weekly, we're below the VIP line, which means I can't be overly bullish. Yes, we have this bullish uptrend, but we're not above my VIP line, and it needs to be above the VIP line to signal a major green move. So this is a conflicting trade. If I had to take a trade on this, which I wouldn't take a trade, but if I had to, I would take a trade to go long. I would take a trade here, and I would go long maybe to the top of the Kellner channel. I'm not going to give specific targets or exact like location, structure, all these things. That's just my thinking based on what I see on the RSI and the MACD. We can look at structure quickly. If we draw fibs, maybe off this range here, from here to here, you know, let's just see. But I bet it lines up with a buying zone based on what I'm seeing with the Kellner channel. Settings. Okay, settings aren't working. Hold on, just draw it the other way. Yep, so you can see here, did I get that? Make this bigger. Touch the bottom, touch the top, okay. So you can see right here, look, we're just bouncing on 0.618 around that area. So our buying zone is like this one. Is it not? Here's my, oh geez, that was delayed. Sorry guys. Rectangle. So our buying zone is something like this here. So we're right in the buying zone. So you've got your location. But I don't, on the weekly, I don't see anything that makes me jump out like this is a huge buy. On the daily, it looks okay though. It doesn't look too bad. So that's my thoughts on the euro. But even if it does move up, don't expect to, euro versus US dollar. So euro actually moving down. So that would be euro moving down versus the US dollar. Even if that does happen, don't expect it to be more than, wait, no, sorry, euro. I thought this was a higher, I thought this was 1.15, not 1.115. So I expect the euro to move higher against the dollar. That would be my prediction, but not a big amount, maybe like 0.015 cents. That's it. Not a huge move.
Julian, we only see your icon.
What? You don't see?
Nope.
You don't see the screen? Okay,
Nope.
so it stopped sharing.
Yeah.
Let me. Okay, thank you for letting me know. Share. Okay. You see it? You see it now?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. So hopefully you heard everything I said about the euro. I think that pretty much covers it. Let's jump into crypto. You know, Bitcoin, lots of exciting things going on. Always an exciting time in Bitcoin land. I'm gonna do the weekly, and then I'm gonna go all the way down. So weekly, boom, like this. Still, in my opinion, bullish uptrend. You know, we had this M top here, but we haven't broken down my second RSI uptrend level. And I frankly will be surprised if we break down in this one. Let's go to the daily. I just wanted to show you that. You know, keep in mind up here, this 1300 level was a shorting zone based on our fib location levels. But if we look at this, look at this, and this is what I talked about last week and how I wanted to see a pullback. So then I could start hunting longs. So we've got this breakout of the RSI downtrend. That's great. I love seeing that. Then we've got this nice W where this one is higher than this one, but it's almost the same here. I wouldn't call it a divergence because it's basically the same, where this is slightly higher and this is slightly higher, so it's the same, but I still like seeing it. So I see it on the price chart, I see it on RSI, I see it on MACD. They're all similar. And we're sitting at the 50% level of like the entire fib from 0 to, I mean, I'll show you where I drew this from. It's like from the top all the way. If you look, we look here. It's basically the entire range for Bitcoin. I went from 20,000 all the way to the bottom. So we're perfectly at the 50% level of Bitcoin's entire life. Of course, this is going to be a huge battle line level. And I think the way this resolves from this level is going to be a huge tell for where Bitcoin goes for the next year. For me, you know, and I think most people here probably hoping it's going to go higher. No guarantees. Oh, why did I click that? But I am liking what I'm seeing here. We're coming to a head here. If you see, let me delete these other lines. If you see even here on this price chart, you can see how we're bouncing in between this like triangle type thing. And I think by the end of this month, by July 28th, we're going to break out either higher or lower. Something's got to happen here. I'll be very surprised if we just go through this. For me, it really looks bullish. The daily, you know, I don't like that we're below this, but so you've got daily below my VIP line, you've got weekly above. There's no real trend direction from my perspective, and that does make it harder to take this trade. And if you look at even the 4 hours, see, we go to the top of this, bounce, go to the bottom, bounce, top, bounce. So we're in a range, but we're in a range that's going to break out soon. And I think I speak for everyone here when I say that, we want to be on the right side of the range. And that's why, as market analysts, we try to look at, which side is the more likely side. There's no 100% guarantee. There never is. But which side gives us the bigger chance of being right? And so for me, I don't know which direction this is going to be going. But if your trading plan is telling you, oh, it's going to go down, so you want to short it, at the top of this range here. So what I can tell you is, if you're going to short it, take shorts up at the top. And set a tight stop. So you would short 10,100, set a stop at like 10,200. If you think it's going to go long, wait till it comes down here, 9,600, 9,700 area. And then you take the long there and you set your stop below this final value, which was 9,512, and you maybe do like 9,400. Just because, we might get an FU move that goes down all the way to 9,300 or something like that. You could get stopped out even at 9,400. So I would probably do 9,400 with an alarm. And then if I get stopped, okay, the alarm goes off and I look at what's happening, and then I decide then if I want to re-enter. But you always want to put a stop. I don't know about you guys, but if I don't have a stop in a trade, I feel like some sort of anxiety. And it helps me, feel not get too emotional about the trade, as long as I have that stop. But I'm like, okay, I'm okay with this loss. If this doesn't work, okay, it's a loss. Just chalk it up as a loss. I didn't even look at the TD mark, what kind of number we're at here. Okay, so it's just a 4. That's not really that useful. Does the weekly have any numbers? No, a 2. And then the 4 hour was at like, we got up to a 7, and now it's a 1. So for me, I'm erring on the bullish side, but if I'm going to take a long, I'm not going to buy it till we're down in the 9,700 area. I'm not going to buy up here at 10,000. I'll wait till we drop another 300, and then I'll go. Because I think we got to come back down here. We'll ping pong a little bit, and then we'll eventually, it's going to go one of two directions. I'll even draw it. Doop, 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 something like that. Or something like this. One of the two. Or it might be something like that. One of those 4 things. So you guys have to think about your trading plan and which one you're comfortable with. I don't have any clear direction. I really don't. I'm erring on the bullish side, but there's nothing that meets all the criteria of my trading plan. I mean, we're at the 50% for location level. It can go either way. So that's my 2 cents on Bitcoin. Any questions? Let's see if there's any questions.
There actually is one in the lounge. So Tony asks, Julian, any particular method you use to draw the RSI trend lines? Just higher lows and lower highs?
Yeah, no particular method. It's just basically how you see it on the chart. That's all. Nothing in particular. Josh, I like that bot setup you posted. That's interesting. But I can't take trades like that without. I need to have like different momentum indicators to help me take the trade. So yeah, Tony, nothing in particular. Let's say somebody posted something. How can you put a stop before you have the position? So you can't. I mean, you have to get into the position, and then I think you put this. It really depends on your broker. I think there are some brokers where you can put the limit, like your buy, and then you can put the stop too while you're entering the limit order. It depends on the broker. So you have to look at your broker and see. But sometimes you can put it. I mean, you can look at the chart and see. So let me go back to the chart. Why am I showing YouTube? You can look at the chart and decide. You should know where your stop is before you enter the trade. You really should. You should also know your profit target. Okay, I think that's enough on Bitcoin. Let's go to altcoins. Hopefully this chart's it's still set up. Okay, nice. Now I don't know why this Schalt one isn't working. It just has an error now. I'm guessing Bittrex removed another coin or something, and now TradingView doesn't have it. and that's why I'm getting the error. So I'm just going to close that. If anyone has any feedback on why they think it's not working, that would be helpful. I'm going to go to the weekly chart on alts. You know, it's been a tough slog with alts. So, but I want to look at the higher time frame before we go to the daily, because I personally, and I think this goes for a lot of people here, you know, we buy alts with the intention of holding them for that big pop, and that could be, you know, a half a year to a year or longer. So I like to just quickly look at the RSI. So this first one is the Binance Alt Index, and this is RSI on the Binance Alt Index. I don't like what I see on this weekly here. You know, we got to break down through this level, and we're sitting at the 50%. We break below this 50%, that could be a wicked move down. I don't like seeing something like this. Okay, now what about the Bittrex ones? Let me just make these a little bigger. I feel like this is a little hard to see. Sorry, guys. I think I'm seeing the same thing, you know, where it's a breakdown on the weekly. Yep, breakdown here. And then what about the Schultz that have good fundamentals? Yeah, it's pretty much the same. They all look the same. Let's go to the daily. On the daily, it's a little bit nicer actually. It didn't bring over what I drew. So if we, you know, draw something like this, it's kind of like that. Here's our breakdown. But then if you look here, oh, this is so tiny. If you look here, and I draw like that, boom, breakout higher on the daily. It actually, does it look a lot like Bitcoin? That's the 4 hour. Let's see the daily. Yeah, so if I drew this one here, like this, it kind of looks like Bitcoin. It's like almost the same. It's too funny. So there is definitely a correlation going on here between the two. Alts, I think, look a little bit cleaner, but you know, let's go to all these different ones. You know, Bittrex, Binance, and then the fundamental ones that are supposedly a better fundamental story. You know, it looks similar. And keep in mind, guys, this is in US dollars. This isn't in Bitcoin. I really prefer everything in US dollars. I think Bitcoin, looking at it in Bitcoin can be deceptive. So I like seeing this. I don't think I will. I have some alts I've been looking at nibbling on, but I want to see a move lower. I can show a couple charts. Like I've been looking at OMG because I feel like it has like such potential to make a big move that, you know, it could shoot up to $3, and that's a nice double on a major coin that's not going to get delisted or anything like that. I don't like to worry about coins getting delisted. I hate that. It's a headache. That's part of the reason I moved off Bittrex. It's just too frustrating. So, you know, you can see I drew this, and we had this huge pullback here though. So I wanna see another move down. If I draw this one like this, you can see it broke out of the downtrend. Again, looks like Bitcoin, but I want to see a move somewhere like this here, maybe down to like 140, and then we move back higher. And I want to see a divergence in the MACD especially, so we could, you know, something like this, boom, 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 and then we start moving higher, and then we move up. So sometime in August, you know, mid-August, maybe that could happen. Maybe sooner, maybe later. I don't know. I'm thinking in the next 2 weeks, something could happen. And you can see how we're sitting at that bottom of that Keltner channel of resistance. That's like one that I really like to watch and look at. Though they're all going to look pretty similar. If I pull up Litecoin and all of them, it's going to be similar. Let's actually draw a fib. I kind of like drawing these fibs lately. Not normally. In the past, I didn't like using fibs, but oops, wrong way. Okay, settings, reverse. Okay, so that's not really helpful if you go off the all-time high top, but I bet if I go and draw it from here, our $3 top from this year, I bet this is a decent level. Let me fix this a little bit. Let's go a little higher. Let's go a little bit. No, that's good here. Okay. Yeah, so nice buying window here. Maybe I'm being a little bit greedy with trying to buy so low. And maybe this is the perfect buying window. So, you know, look at that. But again, I want to see a little bit more structure. I want to see a pullback of the MACD a little bit so I can get a better price. I might start nibbling at like 152. And if it goes lower, okay, I'll buy more. I like what I see here. It's a major name. Let's look at another one. Does anybody have any requests for certain ones they want me to look at? No requests on YouTube. Let's see, on Rocket Chat, nothing. Which exchange do I like? Binance. Okay, FA News. Just so you know, Josh, okay, I'll look at Strat. I don't put much on FA really in crypto, especially because like looking at this, if the fundamental ones are so much better, why are they moving? Why does this chart, this Schultz fundamental one, look almost the same as just the basic Binance and Bittrex ones? I don't see a big difference here. I feel like I should see a more significant difference, and I don't. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm totally sold on the whole fundamental thing. Okay, Stratus, Bitcoin. Can I look at it in US dollar? Okay, Stratus, Bitcoin. I'm gonna look on Binance because I like Binance and I protest Bittrex. It's an evil exchange. Okay, let's go to the weekly chart. Wow, that coin has really come off. Holy cow. So we were at $20 back in 2018 at the top, and now we're at 60 cents. Holy cow. I don't even think I can't go off anything on this weekly chart. Let's go to the daily. What happened here? What is this? So like a fat finger happened or something? Okay. Here, like this one. Again, it looks the same. You've got this same like breakout of the RSI downtrend, and then as OMG, as Bitcoin, as all of them, they all have this. I want to see the pullback, probably back down here, and then we could get, wow, it's crazy. It's like the same as OMG. If you can get back to the high, you get your double. I bet I could look at 10 different altcoins and they would all look like this, especially if they're major altcoins. With this one, well, it's cool. You came down to a 9 and you bounced off the 9 here. I like that. And also its support level. Depending, I don't know much about Stratus coin, but if it's like a relatively high volume coin that has a lot of money in it, I would be okay. To me, it would be the same as buying any other altcoin. Keep in mind, guys, that if you are trading coins, and this market is so correlated that if you're long Bitcoin, if you're long Litecoin, if you're long NEO, XLM, you're basically, and your 50% of your portfolio is in that, then you're gambling 50%. Because it's so highly correlated, it should be lower. It should be maybe 5 or 10% of your portfolio. That's been my thinking lately, is that maybe we shouldn't be so highly invested in all these different names because they all seem to be correlated. I don't know. I would prefer to be like, okay, 10% in crypto, 10% in metals, 50% in stocks. If you want higher returns and you want something a little bit more speculative, okay, go to 20 or 30% of your portfolio for crypto, but make sure you're trading other things. Make sure you're trading stocks. Make sure you're looking at metals. Make sure you're looking at maybe currencies a little bit. For beginners out there, you can just play with crypto to start. I know a lot of people here started with crypto and then moved into stocks and things like that, but start with something you're comfortable with, like crypto, that's easy to get into, but don't put a ton of money into it, because especially just because right now it's so highly correlated. Before, there was a lot of public involvement and you had things popping off left and right. But again, even if we look back, I mean, that was a very special time when we had, different names popping on different days, and then they would just go right back down, and then the next day something else would pop. So it was really good to use the little old lady method. I don't know if I feel the same today, because I think most of the public has disappeared. They've all been burned. And now you've got institutions and algos controlling everything. And when you have a lot of algos and institutions controlling things, a lot of times the market ends up becoming highly correlated. I mean, we say the same thing with the stock market. If the S&P drops, everything kind of drops. The only reason Tesla dropped like this is because earnings came out and it was crap. But you're not going to see something like Boeing drop 10% unless earnings come out or some really bad news, unless the S&P drops. It just doesn't happen. So it's something I talk about a lot. I think things aren't as correlated in stocks, especially if you go into like pharma names and stuff like that, but make sure they're really different categories at least. Just be careful buying all these different names in the same categories, thinking that you're diversified. I don't know. Be careful. That's my main point. Let's see. Do we have any other requests for names? Main indexes are the larger market cap ones with very similar fundamental rating. Okay. I'm gonna show. Let's do like XLM. We have some time, and it might be a show that ends early today. So yeah, same. We've got this breakout here, but this isn't a bad thing. If you're long alts, I like what I'm seeing here. I like this. This is better than just sitting under here. You've got move up here too. I just want to see a little bit more of a pullback so I can buy into these. This one, let me make this a little bigger. I can't see so this one is 0.0857. And then, yeah, again, back up to the top is, it's not as good as OMG, but it looks like you almost get your double if it goes back to the highs back in May. Wow, it's crazy how all these kind of look the same. XLM, OMG. Here's one I own a little bit of this, like a really small amount. PIVX, PIVX. Want to look at the US dollar calculated. Oh wait, that's Bittrex. We don't want to look at Bittrex, protesting that one. Binance. Yeah, it looks the same. It's basically looks a little bit worse than the same. It looks worse. This one is worse than the other ones. I don't like the way PIVX looks. Okay, so not a name I would recommend at all. Doesn't look good. Maybe I should sell my PIVX after seeing this chart. Obviously, if the whole crypto market goes up, I'm sure this will go up too, but it probably won't perform as well. So that is something that looks different. Maybe if you go to the smaller altcoins, they'll probably look a little bit different. That's why I'm looking, like, if anybody has any suggestions, I can look at them quickly. Yeah, exactly, Josh. I agree. BTC or Zen? Okay, so let's look at Zen. Crypto. Horizon. Let's look at it in Binance. Is there a US dollar? There's a Tether one. Okay, so I got to look at the Bittrex US dollar. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so it's right at the top of value. And I don't see any kind of divergence of any kind that would get me excited. If I was long this, I would potentially consider maybe even selling it here and just waiting for the dust to settle. I don't like the way this looks. I mean, yeah, it could break out higher, but I don't like the way that this looks. It has like a nice little ABCD here that could bring us down to the lows. Oh, actually, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, bring you down to $2. I would be very surprised if it went that low, but that's what I'm seeing. I mean, you can see you hit your 9, it went on its pause, but we've got this. Wait, hold on a second. I want to see what happens over the next day or two with this RSI. If it breaks out, then maybe we can put in some type of W. But I don't like the way this looks. I wouldn't be buying this myself. This looks like an ugly chart to me. I need to see some divergence put in and some more structure here. Right now, it at least it stopped, but it could always head lower until we get a nice W. So if you're in it, maybe hold. If you're looking at buying it, wait. Give it some time to put in some structure. I think the other one, what was the other one? ETC? ETC. What is ETC? Let's look at it on Coinbase. So this is, I'm guessing this is one of the bigger coins, because it seems like it looks, no, it doesn't. Like that. I don't know. I don't have a trade with this one. It doesn't look that good to me. You know, you have a lower MACD here, and then you're just having a little bit of a pause and a rebound here. This could, you know, this, let me do the ABCD again. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, okay. I don't think it's going to go that low. So maybe this ABCD isn't a valid one, but I still don't like, I just don't like the way it looks. I wouldn't take this trade. Okay, like that. It's more, yeah, like right down to the bottom, $3.30. So 50% haircut from where it is right now. It looks bearish to me. Same as the last one, bearish. The weekly chart, complete breakdown here. And just like that, you know, total breakdown. You know, I mean, we are, now you're not even above the 50% level. Yeah, I don't like the way this looks. Even the MACD has like a divergence here. Just need to confirm on the weekly, and then down you go. See, any other questions, comments? Okay, I think that's it. If you guys don't have any more questions or anything, I think we can wrap it up. My throat is starting to hurt. I don't think I've ever talked this much in a daily brief. Maybe like one time before. Any questions or comments? Oh wait. I
think we're questionless pretty much. Thanks.
Questionless.
So.
All right. Well, good job, Julian. Excellent presentation. Thank you very much. I thought that was a really good sort of look into how Julian looks at the market. Way to go.
Yeah.
We should probably mention, maybe just in closing, you know, condolences if you did like Alex. I think he was sort of a fan of yours, but the gentleman Tyler Jenks, I think it is, passed away here. I did put out a tweet to that effect just before we got going. So, you know, maybe pass on your condolences to his family and stuff. I know Alex really liked the hyperwave sort of theory. So, you know, my heartfelt feelings there for you, Alex. But, you know, one of the sort of the good guys in the technical analysis world passed away here recently. So just an FYI there. I suppose if we're done, we gave a couple more minutes here for you to post any questions you'd have specifically of Julian. But we're about 4 minutes to the top of the hour, so if we're done with questions and the mayor gives us our blessing, I think we could probably call it a day here now. What do you think, Mr. Mayor? Shall we call it a day?
Yeah, you got my blessings.
Okay, thank you very much, Julian, for your offering. Any closing thoughts, closing comments?
Nope, just careful trading. Play from a position of strength, as you always like to say, Brian. And well, I'll let you do the closing.
Okay. All right. So have yourselves a great rest of your day. We'll be back tomorrow with another daily brief in which, if I'm not mistaken, Steven's going to come on and do a presentation, which would be, super 1 + 1 = 3 for all of you guys. Great to see, people on the site actually demonstrating the principles that we teach through the school program. So look forward to that. Probably be popping in and out. I do have movers, of course, constantly coming and going here. So my apologies for being absent past few days. But once this is done, then we'll get into party mode, and we'll have a week of frivolity where all the TRIers are here in Vancouver, and who knows what kind of trouble we'll get into. All right. So have yourselves a great rest of your day. All the best, everybody, and bye for now.